My name is Mira, and this is the story of the boy who became my eyes when I could no longer see the world. People often say love is about beauty, smiles, or long walks under the stars. But I learned that real love is something much deeper. Real love stays when life becomes dark. Real love holds your hand when you are broken. Real love sees your soul before your face. I was not born blind. When I was 16, I could see everything clearly. The bright sky after rain, my mother's tired smile, the flowers outside our small house, and the dreams I carried inside my heart. I wanted to become a teacher someday. I loved books, music, and painting sunsets with soft colors. But life changed in a single moment. One rainy evening, my parents and I were returning home from a family function. The road was slippery, and a truck lost control near the highway. I still remember my mother's scream before everything became silent. When I woke up in the hospital, darkness surrounded me. At first, I thought it was night. I tried opening my eyes again and again, but nothing changed. I heard machines beeping softly beside me. My head hurt badly. Then I heard the doctor's voice. Her eyes were severely damaged in the accident. My hands trembled. "What do you mean?" There was silence, and then my aunt cried. That was the moment my world ended. I lost my parents in the accident, and I lost my eyesight too. For months, I refused to speak to anyone. I hated the darkness around me. I hated the sound of pity in people's voices. Most of all, I hated myself. My relatives took care of me, but I could feel their sadness. Some treated me gently, while others spoke as if my life was already over. "She is still young," they whispered. "What future does she have now?" Poor girl. I became angry at everyone. I stopped smiling. I stopped dreaming. I stayed inside my room for hours, touching the walls, counting my steps, trying to survive in a world I could no longer see. Then one day, someone knocked on my door. "Can I come in?" It was a warm male voice, calm, soft. I did not answer. Still, he entered. "My name is Arav," he said. "I'm your new neighbor." I turned my face away. "I don't want to talk." "That's okay," he replied gently. "I can talk enough for both of us." Arav lived with his grandmother in the house beside ours. He worked at a bookstore in town. Every evening he visited me for a few minutes. At first, I found him annoying. He talked too much. He described everything around him in detail: the weather, the children playing outside, the smell of fresh tea, the shape of clouds, even the color of the sunset. "The sky is orange today," he would say. Not bright orange, soft orange, like a painting. I used to reply coldly, "I can't see it," but he never became upset. Instead, he would say quietly, "Then I'll describe it until you can feel it." Days slowly turned into weeks. Arav never treated me like a burden. He never pitied me. He spoke to me normally, laughed with me, argued with me, and sometimes forced me to leave my room. One morning, he came with a white walking cane. "We're going outside," he announced. "No," I said. "Yes," he said. I frowned angrily. "People will stare at me." "Let them stare," he answered calmly. "You still deserve sunlight." Those words stayed inside my heart. That day, for the first time after the accident, I stepped outside the house. My hands shook while holding the cane. I felt nervous hearing strangers around me, but Arav walked beside me the entire time. Slowly, Arav became part of my life. He taught me how to walk confidently again. Every evening, he read stories aloud while I listened quietly beside him. Sometimes, we sat under the old tree near our house. He would describe the world to me in ways nobody else could. That was the first moment my heart began falling in love with him. But I was afraid. I was blind, broken, dependent. Why would someone like Arav love a girl like me? So I buried my feelings deep inside my heart. Months passed. One evening, rain started pouring heavily while we sat outside under the small roof near the garden. I stretched my hand toward the rainwater and smiled. "It sounds beautiful." "It is beautiful," Arav replied quietly. Then suddenly he asked, "Do you miss seeing the world?" The question hurt me more than I expected. "Every second," I whispered. There was silence for a moment. Then he said softly, "If I could give you my eyes, I would." My throat tightened. Nobody had ever loved me like that. Tears rolled down my cheeks before I could stop them. Arav gently held my hand. "Don't cry, Mira." "I'm scared," I admitted. "What if this darkness is my whole life?" "Then I'll stay beside you for your whole life." I cried harder after hearing those words. That night, I realized I was deeply in love with him. From then on, my world changed slowly. Even though I still lived in darkness, Arav became my light. He remembered every little thing about me: how I liked jasmine flowers, how I feared thunderstorms, how I loved hearing old songs. When I felt insecure, he encouraged me. When I felt weak, he held my hand. And when I lost hope, he gave me his. People in our neighborhood started noticing us together. Some admired our bond, some judged it. One afternoon, I overheard two women whispering outside. "Why is that handsome boy wasting his life on a blind girl? He deserves someone normal." Their words cut deeply into my heart. That evening, I avoided Arav completely. When he finally asked what happened, I burst into tears. "You should leave me," I cried. "Your life will become difficult because of me." He sounded hurt. "Do you really think I stay because I feel forced?" "You deserve better." "I don't want better," he replied firmly. "I want you." I stayed silent. Then he held both my hands carefully. "Listen to me, Mira. You are not a burden. You are not less than anyone. And I will keep reminding you until you believe it yourself." My heart melted completely after that. A few weeks later, Arav took me to the lake outside town. I could hear birds singing and water moving gently. "Describe it to me," I whispered. "The water looks silver under the evening light," he said softly. "The wind is moving your hair, and you look beautiful." I smiled shyly. Then suddenly he asked, "Can I tell you something?" "Yes." "I love you." Everything inside me stopped. For a moment, even the wind felt silent. "I know life with me won't be easy," he continued, "but I don't care. I loved you when you pushed me away. I loved you when you cried. I loved you in darkness. And I'll love you in every version of your life." Tears filled my eyes again. "I love you too," I whispered. That day, under the open sky I could not see, we became each other's world. Our love grew stronger with time. Arav was patient with me in every situation. He guided me while crossing roads. He described movies while we listened in theaters. He even learned how to braid my hair after watching videos online because my aunt was often busy. Sometimes I wondered how someone could love so purely. One day, during a hospital checkup, the doctor gave unexpected news. "There may still be a chance to restore part of your eyesight," he explained. My heart started racing. Surgery, hope, fear, everything returned together. The operation would be expensive, and success was not guaranteed. I told Arav not to worry about it. But secretly, he started working extra hours at the bookstore and tutoring children at night to save money. I found out accidentally from his grandmother. Months later, the surgery finally happened. I was terrified before entering the operation room. Arav held my hand tightly. "No matter what happens," he whispered, "you are not alone." The surgery lasted several hours. When I woke up, bandages covered my eyes. The doctor said we needed to wait a few days before removing them. Those days felt endless. Finally, the morning arrived. My hands trembled while the doctor slowly removed the bandages. "Try opening your eyes." I opened them carefully. At first, everything looked blurry. Then slowly, faces became clearer. I saw the world again. Tears streamed down my face. The colors looked brighter than I remembered. The light felt almost magical. Then my eyes searched desperately around the room. "Arav?" He stepped forward slowly, and I finally saw him. He had warm brown eyes, tired from sleepless nights, messy dark hair, a gentle smile. But what touched me most was the way he looked at me, like I was the most precious thing in the world. "You're even more beautiful than I imagined," I whispered emotionally. He laughed softly while wiping his tears. For weeks after my surgery, everything felt new again. I stared at trees for hours. I watched rain falling from windows. I admired sunsets silently. And every single time, Arav stayed beside me, smiling like my happiness was his own. But slowly, something inside me began changing. People treated me differently now. Before, they saw me as helpless. Now they praised my beauty, my smile, my future. I started receiving attention everywhere, and without realizing it, I slowly began leaving Arav behind. I became busy with new friends, new experiences, and dreams I thought I had lost forever. Sometimes Arav waited hours just to spend time with me, and sometimes I canceled our plans carelessly. One evening, he asked quietly, "Did I do something wrong?" "No," I replied impatiently. "I just want space." The sadness in his eyes lasted only a second, but I noticed it. Still, I ignored it. One afternoon, while shopping with my friends, I suddenly saw a blind man trying to cross the road alone. People walked past him carelessly. He looked scared, lost, exactly how I once felt. Without thinking, I ran toward him and held his hand gently. "It's okay," I whispered. "I'll help you." As I guided him safely across the road, memories crashed into my heart. Arav teaching me to walk, Arav describing sunsets, Arav holding my hand through darkness. Tears filled my eyes immediately. What had I become? The boy who loved me when I hated myself was slowly disappearing from my life, because now I could see. That night, I rushed to his house. His grandmother opened the door sadly. "He left this morning for another city," she said quietly. "He got a better job opportunity." My heart dropped. "He left?" She handed me a small letter. My hands shook while opening it. Inside, Arav had written, "Mira, when you were blind, you taught me how powerful love can be. And when you saw the world again, I realized something important. I never loved you because you were blind. I loved you because you were you. Maybe now you no longer need my hand to walk forward, but loving you was the most beautiful part of my life. I hope your world stays full of colors and happiness. And whenever you look at the sky, remember there was once a boy who would have gladly become your eyes forever." By the time I finished reading, tears had blurred every word. I finally understood the depth of his love. He never wanted anything from me, not beauty, not gratitude, not sacrifice. He only wanted my happiness. And I almost lost him because I forgot the darkness he once carried me through. The next morning, I traveled to the city where Arav had gone. After hours of searching, I finally found him outside a small bookstore. When he turned and saw me standing there crying, surprise filled his face. Before he could speak, I ran into his arms. "I'm sorry," I sobbed. I forgot the person who gave me my world back. Arav held me tightly but said nothing. I was blind before, I whispered through tears. But after getting my eyesight back, I became blind in another way. I stopped seeing your love. He gently lifted my face, and then he smiled. The same warm smile that once guided me through darkness. I'm still here, he whispered. That day, I realized something beautiful. Eyes can help us see the world, but only love helps us truly see people.